I'm going to construct the album base today and show you how I've done it, and it's with the tape method, which I haven't done very often, so if I look like I'm a bit not sure, that's just how it'll be. I'm going to be using putting pages in. I will eventually show you the spine, the way that I've done the spine in it, and hopefully you'll be able to follow along. And it's only going to be a fairly basic album. There's people who do a lot more intricate stuff, but I just wanted to give you a basic design and shape. This is I think they call this actually crafty board. I've had it in my stash a long time. I couldn't get any more, so my next things will be with grey board, but this was nice and light and I had enough of it in to do the tutorial. So we are going to start. Just let me find my tool that I have. Says I should have organised this beforehand, shouldn't I? Especially seeing as it doesn't want to come out of where I've got it. Yeah. Oh, honestly. Right. So we're going to start with my album is 10 inches high and 8 inches wide, and my spines are 10 inches by 2 inches. Now a lot of people who use the tape method stand up to craft. I don't do that. So I'm having to use the tape different to how they do, as in they usually have it the main tape hanging down in front of them, and mine is going to have to be higher up my table, which isn't a problem, but unfortunately it's not in the screen. Now it tends to also want to roll back, so I'm just popping a pair of scissors in to keep it in place. And because this will go on the left hand side of it, I'm going to leave a gap, leave a little bit, pop it down onto my tape. I am waiting for some different spacers, but unfortunately I haven't got it in time for this, so I am just using this one, and I hope it won't stick and break, because I have done that with some others and it broke. Yeah, this is looking like it's going to be fun. Anyway, you can see the thing of that. So you put it in so that it's lined up to that, and then you bring your next piece in and you've got your perfect spacer, and then hopefully this just comes away, and press that down, and it doesn't look like it's very level to start off with, so I'm going to have to pull that off. So this is like I say, I don't normally do this the thingy wet method, to be honest, so I think I'm just going to eyeball it. Maybe not. Right, let me see what else I've got. I've got some ones from tomorrow. They're not as long, and it might just give me the roughly where I've got to go with it, so that at least I have an idea. Yeah, eyeballing it, that looks perfect, like it's level. And yeah, so like I said, these ones are Tamara Martin Crafts, and that's a 1/4 inch seam, which is what I'm using, and they also do the 3/8 one. This other one was from a generic one from Amazon, but that one will be brilliant if you're using, making an album base with cardstock as your cover. So it's not a problem. So I'm going to bring this up now, trying to keep any wrinkles away. And then I'm going to bring this tape down, hoping I'm keeping it in, and just cut. Like I say, it's a little bit hard because I am working against myself, or towards myself, which, and then again bring that down. Now this piece I'll keep. You never know whether it'll come in handy. Sometimes you just need a bit. So if you've got a few wrinkles, smooth it out with your bone folder. And that's your first one done. So you've now got, this is your spine and this will be your back piece. Now, nothing like making it easy for yourself, is it? When it, you know, when it's now then, my front piece is going to be like this piece for the front, and then I'm going to have a piece overlapping at one side. So my next piece will be this, so that when it's folded over, it goes like this. You could just leave that then, if you wanted a really easy album, just at that stage with those pieces that I'm doing now. But I've decided that that's, you know, that's too easy to do, and let's make life difficult. Now, as you can see, my tape's rolling back, and this is what I've said why. I just chuck my scissors in, and it causes, it then hopefully becomes. So this time I need to not do that, roughly put now that might be a bit creased, so I'm going to see if it'll just come off. Like I say, it's hard work working against myself, really, but we'll give it a go. We'll give anything a go once, maybe never do it again. Right, so again, putting the spacer in place, and then this time bringing down. I actually broke the other one of this, which is why I'm hoping I don't break this one. I used the wrong tape for a tape method, and it was way too sticky, and as I lifted this off, it snapped. So this actually comes in two sections, one for the top, one for the bottom, and that of course makes it so much easier. But I have ordered another set of tomorrow, which I am due any time now, but I wanted to get this tutorial done today, so unfortunately I haven't got it yet. So just giving it a little bit of tension, pull that down, and again using your bone folder, get any wrinkles away. So like I said, that could have been as an ordinary basic album. That would have been easier to do. Of course, you can do this in any size that you want as well, but I just decided that I'd have a go at this because, like I say, I don't know anything by heart, and you know, people would normally wait till they were very, 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 very happy to do stuff before they did a tutorial, but, well, as you may know if you've seen a few of my videos, I tend to do different stuff, and I don't always do like make albums. So because of that, I might never get absolutely fantastic at doing them. So, right, we put the other spine piece in now. And settle that down. So bring over the end again. Bring down the tape. Try not to cut myself at the same time. If this tape finishes not straight where it overlaps, it doesn't matter. This is actually doing quite well. Doesn't always go as straight as that. That's probably my next piece. I'll go way off or something, but like I said, that isn't a problem. So now this is the last piece, and this measures, I'm sure it measures 4 inches across. Yeah, 4 inches across. So the main section is 8, so it's like half of the section. So this is the last bit to go on. Again, use my scissors for the tape. So we just repeat the process. Press that down, bring this end up, smooth it down. Don't know if you can see, but I have got more used to what I'm doing as I've gone along, which is handy. And then just again bring that down. Again, cut that a little bit too long, it doesn't matter. You can just throw those pieces away. I might find out I don't need them. Or I might use them for just keeping a magnet or something in place. Because I am going to fasten this with a magnet on for the cover as well. So this then goes over, and when it's finished will be like that, and there'll be a closure here that will be on a magnet so that you can flip it. So that is the actual construction bit done. Wasn't too bad. Right. I've hopefully got some pages cut down. Oh yeah, no, I've forgotten. That's that bit done. Right, now we have to put tape. See, I told you I hadn't done this before. So now we have to put tape along the other edges. I'm thinking, why is the edges showing? I shouldn't have edges showing. So this was going to be fun because, again, it's going to be out of me camera view, I'm afraid, but hopefully you get the gist. So basically, it's awful what this tape, because it sticks to you. Well, it isn't awful, but it does stick to me, and unfortunately some of my nails have broken recently, so that doesn't even help, because it doesn't tend to stick to your nails as much as when it sticks to your fingers. I sometimes do it with the pudding cardstock as your cover, and to be honest, that's less sticky and fiddly. But when you're going larger with more pieces for your album base, you can't do it because naturally enough, you run out of paper, cardstock, because you can join a 12 by 12 piece for the centre, in the centre, but it's not, you don't really want to be joining pieces and pieces and pieces. This is really annoying me because it's really sticking to me and just not letting me go. Which is, like I say, really annoying me. So, see me having to cut sections out of this tutorial. Right, finally. Wow. Right, so about half of the tape, or at least so that your edges are covered. So hopefully, let me see if I can get the end. Yeah, can you see? It's about half. And squidge that down so that you've got it. And then, like I say, it doesn't help because unfortunately I've made this rather large, especially for a tutorial where I'm not overly used to knowing what I'm doing. By doing what I've just done, which is this gets it on the edges really firmly and good. Now some people then scoot that over and do that, but to be fair, that doesn't work for me, I find. So I'm just going to go up and push it up like this, which that one has gone not up as much as it should be, so try and undo that tape. And push it up. It has cracked there at the end. That doesn't matter because that'll have a piece going over it anyway. That's a separate piece, so I'll just get rid of that for now. Smooth it down with your finger. And then try and do it with your bone folder. And it will get rid of, that's going to be covered up anyway, it's just making sure that this edge is, yeah, I'm not happy with that. I'm going to see if I can do it a little bit better. I don't know why that went wrong like it did. Right, I'm going to don't worry if it takes some of your paper away, it doesn't matter, your chipboard away, your grey board, whatever, it doesn't matter, it'll be hidden. But I just don't like that. Probably people who make a pile of videos like this probably screaming at me, don't do that, don't do that, don't do that. But I'm not happy with it, so it's going. So I'm going to say this tape is really annoying me because it's just sticking to me, which isn't helping because then it's not lying straight, and I don't quite know how to stop that. But anyway, now I'm going to try and lie this where it where I've taken it from that join. And again, I'll do that. Trim this bit away so you've not got excess while you're messing. And then bring up and smooth down with your bone folder. I don't quite know why it's done that at all. But anyway, that's what you do. Only you don't do it like I do, because evidently then it's made a mess of it. And cut the edges off straight. So again, we need to do the other end now. And can I find the end of my tape? Can I, Egg? So again, lay this down onto the tape, smooth it on, give it a wiggle, and you know what, I'm going to try and give this a go, because to be honest, the other way didn't work much better for me. So I'm going to give this a go and see what happens. Oh yes, and look, that has worked out quite good. So from me saying it doesn't work, it actually does. Well, not that it doesn't work, don't get me wrong, because I've seen professional people do it that way, and to be honest, it's worked better that way than the way I was doing it. So hopefully that'll show you two ways of doing it and find which way works for you. Because, so we now have, still not keen on that end. Let me see what it's like when it's closed. Let's do right. So now we have the ends. Again, I'm trying to keep it in screenshot. Trying to do a tutorial that looks good. That I don't think I'm succeeding with, but hey ho. Right, this is going to be fun now, because this one we have to do a different way. And I don't think I'm going to be able to properly do it like you should be able to do, especially seeing as this tape just wants to stick to itself. Good style, and I don't think I've not actually even cut it long enough there, so I'll scrap that piece. Right, so, like I said, this could be fun. Roughly halfway from the width of the tape. You see, where I don't want it to stick, it is sticking, and where I do want it to stick, it isn't. Now, all we're really getting here is along the edge. Cut the excess off. I've done that deliberately. You will probably be able to just do it the length, but because I am doing what I normally do, which is messing, and unfortunately as well, when I know somebody's watching, I shake, which isn't very good either for a tutorial, but it's just one of those things, unfortunately, that I do. I've done it ever since I was little, and I'm too old now to change the way that I am. And that's just unfortunately how I, like I say, how I am. Now what you've done there is mitered off the corners so that it doesn't overlap at the thing. And give it a push down here. And then go with your fingers and press it down. Go with your bone folder, and if you've got any wrinkles, press them out. See there, I've got a bit of a massive wrinkle because it's gone a bit wrong yet again. I don't quite know why it keeps doing this on me, but anyway. Right, so I'm not bothered too much. I'm not going to try and do what I did before because that didn't work. So I'm just going along it, and there will be a cover that comes to there, so you're not going to notice it anyway. And now we get the other end. And we do the same. Make sure that this is just covered off, cut out straight. Yeah, my hand shaking they're absolutely a pain. But like I said, I've had it all my life. It's just one of those things. But when you're trying to look professional, you're trying to get something done and you're nervous and your hands start shaking, it's not good. But anyway, there are plenty, and I mean plenty, of good people out there that know this method and other methods, who are professionals at what they do. Don't shake like I do. And I'm much better at it than me, but then again, I hope to show that, you know, if you do things like this, you can still do it without it being thinking, oh, I can't do that because I've got something that stops me. Especially seeing as this is now deciding to try and stick where I don't want it to. And it might have been better with a smaller pair of scissors, but I can't just find any at the minute. So there we go. So again, we've got that on there. Now, this time I'm just going to do the one edge if I can. That's fine. So again, smooth it with your bone folder. But as you can see, you've got your mitered corner now. So you don't finish up with an excess amount of bulk. And it looks nice and flat on the edge, which is the bit that you will see. Take away these bits off my scissors. And they can be thrown because they're no good. And I've just noticed that this isn't... Oh, that's the bit that went thingy. So that's fine. I'll just play about with that later. At the end of the day, I'm not professing to be a professional by any means. I won't be selling this album on anyway. So, it doesn't matter. Up to a bit. Right, so back to the stage where I thought I was at before. I've cut down some black card from my stash. This actually is white on the back. Didn't realise when I bought it because it wasn't packaged that it was. And I thought, do I use it or do I not? Because it does have a bit, sort of, no, I suppose it does. I can't make out whether, no, it sort of hasn't got a white edge, so I'm going to use it. It's not as black as the tape, but it's going to get covered up with the designer paper from Michelle McCarthy Crafts, which you'll have seen me put a video of that when it's, I mean, I haven't made it yet, but when it's made I'll put a picture of the finished piece on. And these are all cut down 1/8 of an inch less than what the actual chipboard was, or crafty board, or grey board, whichever you're using. And you see that when that's done, all as you can see are the absolute edges. And then when it gets full of paper as well, nobody's going to notice it. So I use Art Glitter Dries Clear adhesive. It's not the cheapest, to be honest, but I never have any problems with it, apart from sometimes, which, watch it, just do it now, it won't always come out of the nozzle very good. But I love the fact that you can get this fine line. You can of course use whatever glue you have, but I happen to like this one because it tends to. So leave, if you can, the same amount of gap all the way around and smooth that down. When you come to do your designer paper, you can cut that down again, or you can make it the same size as this. Depends what look you want, and it depends on if you want to leave it if you want to leave a border round of the black. But the only problem with that is then your designer papers are slightly smaller than your base. Well, they're going to be slightly smaller anyway, but they'll be smaller again. So, again, line that up so you've got roughly the same measurement at the bottom and the top. And this way you see your folds still fold. trying to keep it in camera view, which is also proving to be a little bit hard because of the design of the album that I've decided to show you. I did make an album for when I was guest ET for Michelle's first birthday, and it was done very similar like this, but it was not as tall. And where this album is going to be when folded this way, that was folded that way, and this top came down like that. You could still do that with this size. Some people make it to look like a suitcase, and then when I did the smaller one, the pictures came out the top. On this one, my pictures are going to come out this way from the pockets. Well, I wanted to show Michelle's gorgeous eucalyptus papers off, and the last one I did was only 6 inches tall, and I didn't want to do that with the eucalyptus papers. But again, it depends what you're making, what you want to have a go at. So now we're right on the last one. So line it up. The good thing about wet glue is you can move it before you need to set it in place. And that's the line section. And this will be, it could be either way, but on mine it's going to be like that. Now at the moment it is quite floppy, so you need a piece of card that's going to cover like that over this spine section, and it will make it firmer. So I am just going to get that ready and I'll be back. Right, as I've said, I'm going to do a section here to help strengthen up the spines. So for that, I've cut a piece 1/8 of an inch less for the 10, and it's 5 inches wide, and you need to put some score tape on this, or some double-sided tape. I've actually run out, or I'm running out of red liner tape. I need to get some more, but I found this good quality score tape one, or whatever its equivalent is. In my drawer. Don't seem to put things on straight today. Not that it'll not matter. Like I say, don't like thinking that somebody's watching me, even though at the moment, of course, nobody's watching me, are they? Burnish that down well. Bring in your album. Have to turn it this way because and on this side of your fold, add some tape. And on the other side of the fold, also add some tape. Like I say, there are lots of videos out there for you to see. I watch Tamara Morton quite a bit. I'm sure this is Tamara's knowledge that I'm following. But like I say, follow some Matt Cox, who does a lot of stuff for Michelle McCarthy. He also makes some gorgeous albums and stuff. So you could always have a look what he does as well. He is on YouTube. Can't just think what his moniker is, but if you go on Michelle McCarthy Crafts on Facebook, she's got a site, and there's our guest DT stuff and her DT and Matt stuff, and she's also had some well-known guest designers do some stuff for her first birthday as well. So do check them out because they're worth having a look. Right, I like to pull off my double-sided tape with some tweezers, because I guarantee you I can't always get it off. And also off this one. Don't know whether you find out, but I found with double-sided tape, not this one particularly, but the cheapy one, sometimes it comes off so much easier one way than another. So again, I'm going to, on top of all this tape, add a layer of glue. That's because it gives you wiggle room if it's not quite in the right place, and also once it's in place, it should help it to give it some longevity. Is it longevity? I don't know what's the word there. Anyway, whatever it is, so that if you're constantly moving your pages. Right, I'm eyeballing this. You could measure it, you could put a mark in roughly what is halfway, but I'm going to eyeball it and press down. Now, as you will see, the black that I've done my pages with, which is double-sided black, 300 GSM, which is, to me, it was a better cardstock for me pages than this other one, is definitely more of a black. I could have cut some more of these out to make it all look the same, but like I say, I'm going to cover it with designer paper, so I just thought it didn't really matter as such, and at least that way you can see what your lines are, or where my lines are too. Now then, I am looking for a flat ruler. I do have a tin malts one somewhere, but I can't just find it. So this one will do. You can use any ruler, to be honest, it doesn't really matter. But roughly where your seam is, bend up and keep your ruler, and then it has somewhere to bend up to. And the same with this one. And then that will then fold nicely. And can you see how much more firm that is with that extra layer of card than this one is, that's wanting to collapse and wacky round. This one is keeping in its shape, and this one's wanting to fall down. So we're going to do exactly the same on this spine as well. If you only have one spine on your album, then you only need to do it once. Some people don't do it at all. If I was doing a folio as against a album, I wouldn't do it, because a folio tends to be more, I don't know what the word is. I want to say easygoing, which isn't really the right word at all. But it's not as firm as what a album is usually. Like the folios that I make are usually made out of, the bases are made out of cardstock as against chipboard or grey board or whatever you're using. Now I've gone a bit hard with that one, but it doesn't really matter because it's, there we go, I've managed to pull it away anyway, so that's okay. So that's that on the album again, and then it's double-sided this, so it doesn't matter. So I've got a few marks on there, so not that it's going to be seen. So I'll just put some tape around here as well. This doesn't have to be perfect by any means. You just put in some, good job I said that, isn't it? Because that's immediately stuck where I didn't want it to. Haha. I'm having good fun with tape this morning, aren't I? So again, burnish it down. Just help it to stick to the card. Can't remember whether I did this on the other one. I should have done, so do as I say and not as I do if that's the case. I'll have to pick up my tweezers because I dropped them. given a heat wave for the weekend coming, and it's quite coolish here today, so I thought I'd get this video started. It's going to be in a few parts. I'm just doing this section today. And then I'll be back with another section, and then it's not all too long of a video, and you can pick up bits as and when you need them as well. So again, roughly eyeball in the middle, keeping your papers level if you can with what you did before. And smooth it down. Like I say, some people don't do this, but I do just think it just does give it a bit of form, especially when it's got two. So again, do like we did before. I'm saying a flattish ruler, I don't know if it needs to be. I just think that it tends to work well for me. And then this is going to be fun because I've got to pick up all this. So and then that way you've now got a box that doesn't want to collapse. Oops, sorry, that was a bit out of focus. A box that doesn't want to collapse on itself. You've got the shape you wanted, and that of course goes over there like that instead, so that you've got this piece that will go over here, and I'm going to put a magnetic closure on this, so you will open it up that way, and the pages will be here. And then I don't know, not quite decided yet what I'm doing on these sections, but I'm quite sure I'll think of something, and that'll be the next section. The only other thing that I won't show you, because I've showed you exactly on the other side, is I am going to put some more. I've got to find them, wait a minute. Exactly like I did before, some more black sections on. I've not cut that one down, so oh yeah, I've evidently cut more sections down than I needed. So they will just be glued in place again, which I showed you last time. Oh, have I done? Maybe I've done two backs and not a spine. Yeah, so it'll just be another one of those for there. So I'll leave it at that, because you don't need to see me gluing them on again, and I shall be back with part 2, which will be how I do my hinges and make my pages. Bye for now.